There were many things that upset our gracious Majesty the Queen, Queen Elizabeth, when of course her grandson Prince Harry decided to depart, firstly for a life in Canada and then over to California. But there was one particular incident that truly did displease our gracious monarch. And as ever, I'm not sure in fact whether Prince Harry knew or indeed his wife Meghan Markle knew just how upsetting this would be for our reigning monarch. And as ever, here's why. We all know we've heard both sides really from Meghan and Harry about the reasons why they couldn't stand really being in the British monarchy any further. Everything was dished out on that particular interview with Oprah Winfrey, and then we had Harry of course with his mental health documentary, and seemingly since they went for a life of quiet reflection they've done nothing but reveal to the world how difficult their lives been. We've had Prince Harry of late claiming that he too suffers from burnout. It's laughable, isn't it really? And as ever we have to say allegedly, but truly when you're living that kind of life, I know it doesn't matter that money doesn't change things and things like that, but really have some empathy for people who are truly struggling. You know, struggling can be your next meal, you know, the next drink, where are you going to sleep that night? That's more important than actually going on to other people who are in a less fortunate position than yourself, to basically the troubles that you have and how you go meditating with your chickens or a bike ride in the basking sunshine. Try telling that to someone who's living in a council flat with no money coming in and it's raining. You get the picture. So you can understand why even our gracious Majesty the Queen, our reigning monarch Queen Elizabeth, in her Platinum Jubilee year has been rather upset by many of the accusations that have been thrown against her, of course, from Harry and Meghan, not particular of course the racist slur which we saw His Royal Highness Prince William rebuff on that walkabout a few months back now, and rightly so. Let me tell you another bit of sideline that I've heard. Prince William truly now does want to answer back to some of the media calls. He believes in the 21st century that it's not really enough to let it ride over because the attacks are now so ferocious. I'll tell you more about that soon as I get more. But back to this particular breaking story. As you know, when Harry and Meghan departed, they wanted to keep everything themselves, you know, the Sussex Royal brand. And then, of course, they were informed that they simply couldn't keep that. They couldn't trade on it. Lots of people felt our gracious monarch should have gone a little further and stripped them of their titles. But it was the fact that then they decided to post this particular statement on their website regarding that decision. In a very lengthy post on their own website, Harry and Meghan's official website basically claimed the pair will detail exactly how the transition will take place, while also insisting the Queen does not have any ownership over the term royal. They said, while there is not any jurisdiction by the monarchy or the Cabinet Office over the use of the word royal overseas, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex do not intend to use the words Sussex Royals, or indeed royal in any territory, either within the UK or otherwise, when the transition occurs in the spring of 2020. Now, of course, many might say they'd no need to write that particular thing. They could have just quietly, as ever with Harry and Meghan, simply informed Her Majesty the Queen privately or through her equerry. It would have been that simple. But to put it on their website, many said this really did, of course, affect our gracious monarch, because it's very public, isn't it? Basically claiming, well, you know, you don't own that name. Fast forward, what do we have? Harry and Meghan starting to try and take claim to many of the names that they're trying to brand themselves with and finding their own personal difficulties. As I've said here on the show many times, I'm not against Harry and Meghan, or indeed, you know, I like to be impartial and present the news as I see it. But you do kind of wonder, as I've often said, who advises Harry and Meghan on these sorts of matters? They're paying lots of money for wrong advice. More importantly, have they realised the damage, not just to themselves, but to those that they allegedly care about so much, as in our reigning monarch of 70 years, how that can do, particularly when she's frail, 96 years old, and of course recently lost her beloved Duke. One would have thought, even from Prince Harry's fuddled mental mind, that he might of course decided to step forward and do the honourable thing and keep something like that off the website. As ever, when I know more, you know more. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.